The richest person you've heard of isn't actually the richest, because there are families at the top that don't compete for rankings. Their wealth existed before modern capitalism had a name, and it'll exist long after today's tech billionaires are footnotes. One family owns over 44% of the world's largest retailer. Another controls 75 luxury brands that define global fashion. A third family's net worth exceeds $1.4 trillion more than entire nations. Some operate from unmarked headquarters, others from palaces with over 1,000 rooms. In this video, we'll be uncovering the billionaire families that even Donald Trump can't meet. The Rothschild family. The Rothschild name carries weight that few family names ever achieve. Their story begins in 1760s Frankfurt, where Meyer Amschel Rothschild ran a coin trading and money changing business. What he did next changed banking forever. Meyer sent his 5 sons to establish banks in 5 European capitals: Frankfurt, Vienna, London, Naples, and Paris. One family, 5 financial hubs, all coordinated. By the 1820s, the Rothschilds dominated European finance. They financed governments, funded wars, and bankrolled the infrastructure of the Industrial Revolution. When Britain needed money to fight Napoleon, Nathan Mayer Rothschild in London made it happen. The family didn't just participate in history, they underwrote it. During the 19th century, the Rothschilds held the largest private fortune in the world, over 41 grand estates at their peak. Try counting the rooms in just one of those properties. You'd be there a while. Then the 20th century arrived. Wars, nationalizations, and the rise of joint stock banks broke their financial monopoly. Assets were seized during World War II. Wealth divided among hundreds of descendants. The unified empire fractured into independent branches. Today, the family operates through separate firms. Rothschild & Co. handles mergers and acquisitions from London. The Edmund de Rothschild Group manages $173 billion in assets across private banking, hotels, and even yacht racing. RIT Capital Partners holds stakes in gold, oil, and energy. They even acquired part of Rockefeller's wealth management group in 2012. Individual family members now have fortunes around $1 billion to $1.3 billion, modest by modern billionaire standards. But collectively, estimates range from $400 billion to over $1 trillion, depending on who's counting and what they're including. The family still owns Waddesdon Manor in the UK, worth up to $200 million and filled with art collections. Château de Ferrières stands in France. They control Premier Bordeaux vineyards, Château Lafite Rothschild, and Château Mouton. Rothschild produce some of the world's most expensive wines. Art collections across branches are valued between $1 billion and $4 billion. Their strategy hasn't changed much since 2010, when one family member explained their survival through crises. Our investment managers did not want to put money into crazy things. Conservative, diversified, patient. The Rothschilds no longer rule European finance, but they've outlasted nearly every dynasty that tried. The Al Saud family. The House of Saud doesn't just own wealth, they own a country. With an estimated net worth of $1.4 trillion, they're the wealthiest royal family in history. That number isn't a typo. Abdulaziz ibn Saud founded modern Saudi Arabia in 1932, but the real fortune began in the 1930s when oil was discovered beneath the desert. What followed was a direct pipeline from underground reserves to royal bank accounts. Today, 15,000 family members exist, though only about 2,000 hold real power and wealth. The system works like this: monthly stipends for thousands of princes, ranging from hundreds to hundreds of thousands of dollars, all funded by oil revenue. Most people budget for groceries. These relatives budget nations. Saudi Aramco sits at the center. It's the world's most valuable and profitable company, generating revenues that make tech giants look modest. The family controls it through the state, blurring the line between national treasury and family vault. Then there's the Public Investment Fund, managing over $900 billion in assets. Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman uses it to diversify beyond oil. Stakes in Uber, Lucid, Blackstone, Newcastle United Football Club, and Live Golf. The futuristic city project Neom alone costs hundreds of billions. The possessions match the wealth. Al Yamama Palace in Riyadh covers 4 million square feet with over 1,000 rooms. Mohammed bin Salman owns the yacht Serene, valued at $500 million, complete with pools, helipads, and underwater viewing rooms. The family's collective yacht fleet exceeds $1.6 billion. MBS reportedly paid $450 million for Leonardo da Vinci's Salvator Mundi painting. He also purchased Chateau Louis XIV in France for $300 million. Customized Boeing 747s, gold-plated Lamborghinis. The excess isn't accidental, it's strategic display. Prince Al-Walid bin Talal operates Kingdom Holding Company, with investments spanning Citigroup, Four Seasons Hotels, and formerly Twitter. Individual princes run their own empires within the empire. In 2017, MBS detained dozens of princes and businessmen at the Ritz-Carlton Riyadh in what was called an anti-corruption campaign. Some saw reform. Others saw consolidation of power and redirection of funds. The Al Saud family proves a simple point. When you control both the resource and the state that owns it, the wealth becomes difficult to separate from sovereignty itself. The Mars family. The Mars family is worth approximately $143 billion. Their headquarters in McLean, Virginia, doesn't have a sign on the building. That tells you everything about how they operate. Frank C. Mars started making candy in his Tacoma kitchen in 1911. The Milky Way bar launched in 1923. Snickers followed in 1930. M&M's arrived in 1941. Each became a global staple, and the family kept every share. Mars Inc. remains 100% family-owned across 4 generations. No public shareholders, no stock market pressure, no quarterly earnings calls. The company generated $55 billion in revenue in 2024-2025, and the family received $1.5 billion in dividends in 2024 alone. Most of those profits get reinvested right back into the business. Here's what changed. Candy isn't their main business anymore. Pet care now accounts for 59% of revenue through brands like Pedigree, Whiskas, and Royal Canin. They also operate Banfield Veterinary Clinics. In 2025, they completed a $36 billion acquisition of Kellanova, adding Pringles, Cheez-It, and Pop-Tarts to their portfolio. The company employs 150,000 people globally. You've probably eaten their products this week without thinking about it. The family's lifestyle doesn't match their wealth. No super yachts. No flashy real estate empires. Jacqueline Mars owns equestrian properties like Stonehall Farm in Virginia. She's a serious horse enthusiast. The family maintains compounds in Virginia and New Jersey, along with some historical estates. Private jets for travel, but nothing that makes headlines. They don't operate an external family office like other dynasties. Profits stay within Mars Inc. rather than spreading across public investments. Philanthropy happens quietly through foundations supporting education, arts, and animal welfare. Jacqueline serves on boards including the Smithsonian and U.S. Equestrian Team. The privacy is intentional and extreme. The family rarely grants interviews. Their business strategies stay internal. When they make moves, like the Kellanova deal, the market notices, but the family doesn't explain themselves. Primary control sits with John and Jacqueline Mars, Frank's grandchildren, though the 4th generation now holds positions within the company. The succession has been managed without drama or public feuds. The Mars family proves that staying private and staying wealthy aren't mutually exclusive. Sometimes they're the same strategy. The Ambani family. Mukesh Ambani's home has 27 floors, 3 helipads, a snow room, and multiple swimming pools. It's valued somewhere between $2 billion and $15 billion, depending on who's estimating. The building stands in Mumbai, visible to millions who will never step inside. The family's net worth sits at approximately $105.6 billion, making them Asia's richest and the only Indian family in Bloomberg's top 25 wealthiest globally. That wealth started with Dhirubhai Ambani, who began trading textiles in the 1950s. Reliance Industries from textile trading into petrochemicals and refining. The Jamnagar refinery complex is now the world's largest. After his death, sons Mukesh and Anil split the empire in 2002. Mukesh got the better half. Under Mukesh, Reliance generates around $125 billion in annual revenue. The company holds a 43% promoter stake controlled by family entities, but revenue alone doesn't explain the transformation. In 2016, Reliance Jio launched and disrupted India's telecommunications market with dirt-cheap data plans. Over 500 million subscribers signed up. When your country has over 1 billion people and you give them affordable internet access, the math works differently. A Jio IPO is planned for 2026, which could unlock substantial additional value. Reliance Retail became India's largest retailer, competing directly with global giants. The family invested in green energy, acquired media assets through a Viacom-18 Disney merger, and launched Jio Financial Services. Diversification turned into domination. The third generation is already embedded. Akash runs Jio. Isha oversees retail and financial services. Anant focuses on energy operations. The succession is happening in real time. Beyond Antilia, the family owns Gulita Mansion for Isha, an $80 million Dubai villa for Anant, properties in New York and the UK, plus Stoke Park Golf Resort. Their private jet fleet includes a Boeing 737 MAX worth $200 million total. Car and yacht collections exist, but stay less publicized than the real estate. The Ambanis don't hide their wealth, they monument it. High-profile weddings, public philanthropy, art collections displayed at major events. The strategy seems to be visibility as legitimacy. Reliance Industries isn't just a company, it's infrastructure. When one family controls significant portions of a nation's energy, telecommunications, and retail, the line between corporate power and national influence becomes academic. The Arnault family. Bernard Arnault controls 75 luxury brands through LVMH. His net worth fluctuates between $178 billion and over $200 billion, depending on stock performance. All 5 of his children work as executives in the company. The succession isn't coming. It's already underway. Arnault started in his father's construction business before pivoting to luxury in 1984 with the acquisition of Christian Dior. 3 years later, he orchestrated the merger that created LVMH. What followed was methodical empire building through acquisition. Louis Vuitton, Moet & Chandon, Hennessy, Sephora, Bulgari, Fendi, Givenchy, Celine. The $15.8 billion purchase of Tiffany & Co's in 2021. Each brand retained its identity while contributing to consolidated power. LVMH generated $84.7 billion in revenue in 2024, roughly $91.6 billion. The strategy focuses on timeless heritage, premium pricing power, and controlled scarcity. Luxury doesn't discount. LVMH's brands don't chase mass markets. The model depends on maintaining aspiration, not accessibility. The family controls approximately 48% of LVMH's equity and 64% of voting rights through Christian Dior SE and their holding company Agache. Lockup agreements restrict sales until 2052 and beyond, ensuring multi-generational control. Each child occupies a strategic position. Delphine runs Dior as CEO. Antoine handles image and communications. Alexandra oversees Tiffany. Frederick manages Tag Heuer. Jean works in watches marketing. The family isn't preparing for transition. They're executing it in parallel. The Arnauds maintain a sophisticated lifestyle centered on art rather than excess. Bernard's private collection includes works by Picasso and Warhol. The family founded Fondation Louis Vuitton, a contemporary art museum in Paris. Their 333-foot yacht Symphony is valued at $150 million. Recent real estate acquisitions in prime Paris districts totaled around $200 million. Through Agache, the family office, they invest in technology, stakes in Netflix and ByteDance. They recently acquired a majority stake in Paris FC Soccer Club. The investments extend beyond luxury, but luxury remains the core. LVMH employs deliberate brand management. Products launch with carefully controlled distribution. Marketing emphasizes heritage and craftsmanship. Prices rise consistently. The formula works because the target customer base values exclusivity over affordability. The Arnault family doesn't just sell luxury goods. They've systematized the production of desire across generations, cultures, and price points while maintaining the illusion that what they offer can't be replicated. The Walton family. The Walton family is worth between $432 billion and over $500 billion. They own approximately 44% of Walmart stock. That stake makes them the wealthiest family dynasty on the planet, surpassing even Middle Eastern royalty. Sam Walton opened the first Walmart in 1962 with a simple idea: sell everything cheaper than anyone else. The discount retail model worked. Today, Walmart operates over 10,500 stores globally and generates roughly $681 billion in annual revenue, making it the largest company by revenue worldwide. The family controls their fortune through Walton Enterprises, the central holding company managing shares, investments, and strategy. 3 generations now participate in oversight through board seats and voting power. Since 2020, they've sold over $25 billion in stock to fund diversification and philanthropy, but the core stake remains intact. Walmart's e-commerce expansion and consistent performance keep the wealth growing. Individual family members pursue separate ventures. Lucas Walton runs impact funds focused on sustainability. Rob invests in private equity. Jim Walton oversees Arvest Bank. But Walmart stock is the foundation. The Waltons don't live like the Al Sauds or Ambanis. No 27-story private skyscrapers. No $500 million yachts for most branches. The family maintains compounds and ranches in Bentonville, Arkansas, staying connected to Walmart's headquarters and origins. Alice Walton is the exception in lifestyle. She founded Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art, housing a world-class collection valued in the billions. Nancy Walton Laurie owns Chaos, a 361-foot superyacht worth approximately $300 million. Ann Walton Kroenke owns Aquila, valued around $150 million. Rob Walton co-owns the Denver Broncos, purchased for $465 billion in 2022. But compared to other billionaire families, the displays of wealth remain restrained. The focus tilts toward Arkansas development, education reform through charter schools, and environmental conservation via the Walton Family Foundation. The foundation distributes massive grants, water conservation projects, regional development in Northwest Arkansas, educational initiatives. The philanthropy serves dual purposes: genuine impact and legacy preservation. Walmart faces criticism for wages, working conditions, and impact on small businesses. The family's wealth accumulation happens in plain sight. Every transaction at every store contributes fractionally to the fortune. The Waltons prove that consistent, unglamorous retail dominance builds more wealth than flashy industries. Sometimes the most valuable empire is the one people shop at without thinking twice. The Bettencourt family. Françoise Bettencourt Myers was once the world's richest woman. Her family's net worth fluctuates between $75 billion and $90 billion, tied almost entirely to their 34.76% stake in L'Oréal. The fortune started with hair dye in 1909. Eugène Schuller, a chemist, invented modern synthetic hair color and founded L'Oréal. His daughter Liliane inherited control in 1957 and became one of the world's wealthiest individuals. When she died in 2017, everything passed to Françoise, her only child. The wealth moved cleanly through 3 generations without splitting or drama. L'Oréal dominates global cosmetics with brands like Lancôme, Maybelline, and Garnier. The company's performance drives the family fortune directly. When stock rises, so does their wealth. In late 2023, their net worth briefly hit $100 billion. Market fluctuations brought it back to the high tens of billions, but the trajectory remains upward. The family controls their stake through Tethys SAS and direct shares. Dividends from that 35% position generate substantial annual income. Unlike families that diversify aggressively, the Bettencourts keep most wealth tied to L'Oréal while using Tethys Invest, their family office, for targeted investments in healthcare, education, and private equity. Françoise's 2 sons, Jean-Victor and Nicolas Myers, are already involved in governance and succession planning. The next generation isn't waiting. They're learning the structure in real time. The family's lifestyle stands in stark contrast to other billionaire dynasties. No superyachts, no publicized private jet fleets. They maintain elegant mansions in Neuilly-sur-Seine, a wealthy Paris suburb, along with historical family estates across France. The focus leans intellectual, private art and book collections rather than public displays. Françoise herself is a serious scholar. She's written books on Greek mythology and Jewish-Christian relations. The family operates quietly, avoiding tabloid attention that plagued Liliane's later years. Philanthropy happens through the Bettencourt-Schuler Foundation, established in 1987. Arts and social inclusion with substantial grants. The family donated $226 million toward Notre Dame's restoration after the 2019 fire, one of the largest private contributions. The Bettencourts demonstrate that extreme wealth doesn't require extreme visibility. Their fortune compounds through patient ownership of a dominant company, modest reinvestment, and generational discipline. Beauty products built a dynasty. Discretion maintains it. 7 families, trillions of dollars combined. Some built their fortunes on oil extracted from desert sand. Others on candy bars made in factory kitchens. Some display their wealth through gold-plated super yachts. Others through unmarked headquarters and quiet art collections. The truly wealthy don't just accumulate money, they construct systems that outlast individuals. Which one shocked you the most? Share your thoughts below.